Hello, my fabulous friends. I hope you're doing well. Well, this has been something that's really been on my mind ever since the Charlie Kirk incident. And everybody's, oh, it's a psyop, it's a psyop, it's a psyop. Well, if everything's a psyop, then nothing's a psyop. I don't believe it was a psyop. I believe we don't know the truth of what really happened, but in my cards have said, and it is my deepest feeling, this man has snapped the silver cord and has transitioned to the next thing, to the next grand adventure, next journey, whatever you want to call it. I don't believe he faked it. I don't believe it was a hologram. It's just like, think of the logistics of it. Let's just think about that for a moment. Anyways, some things are a psyop. Some things are, and they want to maintain control and whatnot. So the reason I'm asking the Knights Templar Tarot is some people think the Knights Templar was a big psyop, right? Also, you know, they fought for truth and justice and whatnot. I mean, their first job was to protect pilgrims along the journey. So I just want to ask, I don't know, I just feel like asking this deck of cards. What's the percentage of news items that are psyops, and what's the percentage that they are real? So I'm going to pull 10 cards, upright, positive, reversals, negative. And then we're going to ask the cards. So I want the cards to tell me not only which are psyops. So upright is they're not a psyop. In reverse, they are a psyop. So what percentage are psyops? And can the cards give me a clue as to which ones are psyops? All right. Now, psyop to me is a false flag, is a fake story, is didn't happen. It's something that the government wants to project fear of some kind of magic juice you got to take, and you got to stand 6 feet away from somebody because, you know, everyone's dying but no one died. Or no one died and people are missing and all kinds of things, right? So let's ask. Let's see if the cards can tell us. So I'm going to do 10 cards, right? Because we want 100%. Upright, positive, reversals, negative. Now, we all know the media lies. Like, here's a good psyop that they're doing right now. Antifa is just an idea. There's no such thing. Yet they've got websites, they've got Twitter accounts, they've got T-shirts, they've got organizations, they've got, right? So they're trying to psyop you that there's no such thing as Antifa. Uh-huh. So let's find out. Who knows? Maybe there's no war in Israel and Gaza. I don't know. I'm not there. I can't see it. I'm not saying that it's a psyop. I'm just giving you an example. All right. Shall we begin? So 10 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Where are all these in? Yeah, they are. Okay. So let's see what it is. Let's count upright. 1, 2, 3, 4. 60% of what they tell us is a psyop. 60%. More than half. More than half. What's the underlying here? 3 of Swords in reverse. So big betrayal. Big betrayal. Lots of mental anxiety. They do it for mental anxiety. They do it for mental betrayal. For distrust. To make people distrust each other. To divide people. All right. So the first one here is we have the Hierophant. So the Hierophant, to me, well, this what used to be called the Pope. So this is telling me there's no psyop around the papal, the Pope, right? The Pope did die. We do have a new Pope. The Pope was voted in properly. There was nothing untowards because it's upright. So the cards are saying, don't worry, that was all for real. That's all for real. There's nothing there. So if you think there's some kind of psyop there that, there's, not a real pope or whatever, you could drop that. The cards here are saying, no, that the pope is real. Everything around the pope is real. Now, this is interesting. 7 of Cups. And it's upright. And the 7 of Cups is dreams and choices. And not all choices are great. Some are the booby prize. Remember that. This is having confusion, a bit of confusion. I'm going to say that it's not a psyop that they keep you confused. It's not a psyop that they rotate through all these stories. That's real. That's real. They really do try to confuse you. They really do try to rotate these stories. They really do make you feel like you do have a choice. Isn't that interesting for that card to come up and say that's true? So if you're feeling really confused about the world, or you don't know what to do, that's the whole point of it. Look at that, and the clock agrees with me. 8 of Pentacles in reverse is work. There's psyop around work, around the type of work, around how many people are working, how many people are not working. So when you see all those stats, unemployment statistics, you see all those stats about, different jobs that are needed and whatnot. That's all a psyop. Is all this AI stuff a big psyop? To say, oh, watch for your job or whatever. I just saw a very interesting article that they're the people that they laid off because of AI, they're calling back because AI is crap. It really is. And so they're calling the people back to work. So I think there's going to be a big psyop and fears around jobs. So perhaps that has something to do with the tariffs that are going on, when I say the tariffs, the United States it's affect the ripple effects around the world, around the stock market, around other countries that are going to lose jobs because of the tariffs, that kind of thing. But there's a lot of psyop around it. So don't believe everything you hear around work and jobs. All right. Ace of Cups in reverse. This is telling me that there's a lot of couples that are psyops. Well, I'm going to say a lot of loving couples that are psyops. Like, don't believe what you hear about all of that. That to me is not shocking at all. I think a lot of us know there are what they call lavender weddings, where they're gay but they want to hide it. So they marry somebody, or like they pretend they're in love but they really aren't. That kind of thing. And I think because that showed up, I'm going to say that there's a lot around that I'm going to say that perhaps almost all public figures, it's all kind of a psyop. Like it's all an illusion, that how happy they are. Perhaps they are together, but how happy they are, or how good they look all the time. Like they're all just living the Instagram highlight reel. You don't see them on a Sunday morning with their greasy hair and on their 4th cup of coffee, with their ugly pajamas on with stains in the front, and bad breath and need their toenails clipped. You don't see that. You just see the polished version of them. So I'm going to say that is a big psyop. And obviously, thank you, cards. Now, isn't that interesting? I said, how do we know there's a war going on in Gaza? We see pictures and we see films and stuff, but unless you're actually there and you've witnessed it, how do you know? I'm going to say a lot. Look at the Eight of Wands is communications. It's also movement. But in this deck, it is attacks. It is attacks. I'm going to say that I'm actually going to go out on a limb here and say at least 80% of the attacks that you hear about are psyop. 80% of it's an 8, it's a big number. Also here, we also have another 8 here. I'm going to say that at least 80% of different attacks that you hear, probably the only real ones are the ones that you see that a personal to person attack, because this is many, right? I don't know why they would psyop that. I know there's a lot in the States that has a lot to do with gun control. So this would almost be like something with many bullets or many mass death casualties. Also, this is communication. So perhaps 80% of the media communication you hear is a psyop. No kidding. No kidding. And if you don't believe that, please go down that rabbit hole for us. Do us all, the rest of us, a big favor. All right, the Emperor. I'm going to say everything around the king is true. He has cancer. He does have a son who, I'm going to say it's the British king because, ooh, I just noticed he's a French king, the Emperor. But France doesn't have a king. So is this Macron? So what we know, what we hear about Macron is true. So would that include his wife? And would that include some of the really wild off there ones that his wife is actually his mother? Have you heard that one? Or his brother, depending on, or his father, depending on. So the rumors around France, around Macron, are true. There is no psyop around him. I could go either way. Right? The psyop would be always married to his mother. Is that why she felt that she could slap him in the face like a mother would to a child? Don't you talk back to me ever again. Right? That almost looks like him in some regards. I thought this was, as soon as I saw it, I thought of King Charles, but no, I actually think that's Macron. The High Priestess here in reverse. I'm going to say that this is secrets being revealed, right? Pulling back the veil, pulling back the curtain. The High Priestess holds all kinds of secrets, and she will reveal them to you if you ask her the right questions, because she's got the knowledge here. It's also using your intuition. I'm going to say that some of the secrets that come out are psyops. Do not believe all the secrets that you hear. Oh, this secret here of, this celebrity did this or that celebrity did that, or we're releasing these records or we're releasing those records. I'm going to say there a lot of them are psyops, especially if you hear the word secret or it's hidden and it's going to be all revealed and whatnot. That's all. They're all psyops. They're all psyops. The truth will be set free, but it won't be under a big production like that. Five of Wands in reverse, again, fighting. I know. I kind of hate to think that way, to tell you the truth. I'd like to think that what we're seeing with our own eyes is the truth, but you'd never know anymore with CGI. That's computer generated images with AI. How do we know they bombed Iran? How did we know that there's not, how do we know there's not a war going on in some countries like Afghanistan? They left all that military stuff there. How do we know they aren't fighting? I mean, and you look at Ukraine, why are all these royals and all the royals, all the celebrities, all the politicians going to Ukraine? Isn't it a war zone? Apparently not. Apparently not. Right? I've never heard of that. There's a big war zone going on. How come nobody's going to visit Gaza? Huh? Think about that. Bono's not in Gaza doing a concert for the people. There's no princes or princesses or kings or whatever going to visit Gaza. There's no politicians. Trudeau has not gone to Gaza. I mean, he was prime minister when it all hit. But yet, Trudeau went to Ukraine. Carney's gone to Ukraine. Starmer, like, how come they aren't going to Gaza? That's really, so be really weary. Some of those are psyops. I'm going to say at least 50%. So you're going to have to discover yourself which 50%. I'm going to tell you something about Ukraine. I think I've mentioned my husband is Ukrainian, born in Canada. He still has cousins over there. And they said they're absolutely fine. Now they are more in the western side. And when the family talks to them, they say they don't even know a war is going on. They said they're absolutely fine. So really makes you wonder what's really going on. All right, 10 of Wands here. The burdens that people are facing right now and feeling like they're being dragged through the mud is true. It's not a psyop. Food is expensive. Utilities are expensive. Taxes are through the roof. It's the people who are being dragged through the mud. The burdens that people are facing right now, and they are at maximum. This is maximum. This is not a psyop. This is not something that they're trying to control to make us collapse or anything. This is true. Things are going on. This is so don't, when eggs are $12 a dozen or something, there's nothing controlling it. It's absolutely what supply and demand. People I'm just hearing getting dragged through the mud, like, and having, you think about it, this fellow could get up and get on that horse, but he feels like, he can't. He's out of energy. He's out of power. He's out. It's easier to continue to be dragged than get up and do something about it. And that's not a psyop. Last one, the Star. That's hope and healing and wishes coming true. The fact that people have no hope to change this 10 of Wands is, I think they're giving you a psyop about that. Also, the hope and healing about our current medical system, healthcare, still don't have a cure for cancer, that kind of thing. That's all a psyop. That's all being controlled. That there's no hope and healing. There's no healing for this. There's no healing for that. Apparently there is, because it's all a psyop right now. Also that there's no, you have no power. That's a psyop. We do. We're just, they divided us because if we have unity, we are more powerful than they'll ever know. They're afraid, they can be afraid of us. So by making sure we have no hope, by making sure we are continue to be dragged through the future, we can't save money because it costs so much to live. And look at going back to the jobs. Oh, there's no good jobs out there. Like all this mental anguish that they're giving us, keeping us fighting and divided. The fact that we're fighting and divided itself is a psyop. Um, is that all just bots on social media arguing with you? It's not real people arguing, it's bots arguing. So it makes it feel like we're so divided when we aren't, and that we have no hope, and there is no healing to be done. And, you shouldn't wish for things upon a star because they're not going to come true. That's a psyop. These are very interesting psyops, actually, when you think about it. Very interesting psyops. I'm going to go back to this one because when I do my royal readings, this is the Hierophant is the firm and the Emperor is the king. And this could be, both things can be true at once. I'm going to say that what we hear about the king is true. I don't think it's a psyop that he has cancer. I don't think it's a psyop that his son is fighting with him. I don't think it's a psyop that they're actually secretly meeting in the background. I'm going to say both things can be true. That what you hear announcements from Buckingham Palace are true, and you can count on that. I don't know why I needed to add that, but I did. Interesting. Well, to me, this was very interesting and very revealing, and I tend to believe this quite a bit. All right. Thank you very much for watching. Please take good care. See you online. Bye for now.